What would you do Wednesdays? Mama's Playground.
Welcome to Mama's Playground.
Today we are doing What Would You Do Wednesdays? Which we did this in another episode, and we said we're going to try to bring one of these out probably once a month. Darlene has no clue what today's episode is about. I mean, she knows it's a What Would You Do Wednesday kind of thing, but she has no clue as to the question that I am going to put out there and to discuss. So let's just jump straight into it. I have it here. I have it on my phone, so I'm going to read it from here. Okay?
Okay.
Miss Darlene, and obviously you guys listening, okay? What would you do if someone offered you $1 million today, but you had to divorce your spouse and could never speak to them again? And they said, listen, this is like the Indecent Proposal, you know, the one with, what's her name? Demi Moore.
With Demi Moore. Robert Redford,
yes,
was it?
Yes. So what would you do if somebody came and said, listen, Darlene, I will, give you $1 million. It's gonna, it's gonna fix your life. You're gonna be able to do whatever you want. But you know what? No more Fabian. You need to sign those divorce papers and never look back.
Fabi, I love you. We had beautiful memories. We have a beautiful daughter.
Really? Would you not even think about it? Would you think about it?
And I feel like he would be like, you have to take it.
Take it and like lie about it and say we're never going to speak to each other.
Okay, but that's the thing. Yes. Because you say you can never talk to him again. But what if you cheated?
What do you mean?
What if I don't know. Well, I'll change your name, change your passport, go to another country and live happily ever after.
No. You're trying to get the best of both worlds.
Okay, you have to choose one.
You have to choose one. They said to you, like, it's kind of like the Indecent Proposal, right? What if it was like the Indecent Proposal? Like, what would you do if
$1 million. Okay, obviously, guys, it's tempting. And obviously, I'm going to answer what you all know I'm going to answer. And just leave it at that.
What are you gonna answer? I don't know. What would you answer? Like, let's say you are okay. Let's paint another story. Okay, you're struggling right now. You both are trying to make ends meet, and you're like, "Oh my God, we can't pay the bills, nothing." And all of a sudden, somebody comes around and says, "I have everything figured out for you, except you can't include your spouse. I'm gonna give you those $1 million."
And what else?
And $1 million.
So no, come on, but okay. See, I'm trying to ask too many questions. It's simple. No, I won't take the $1 million.
You're hesitating here
because it's the right thing to
do.
Yeah.
You see? But she's like looking at me and she's like, it's the right thing to do. She's like, I mean, okay, let's bring it back to the movie of Demi Moore now that we brought that up. Like, what if somebody told you for not even for, I'll give you $1 million, but you have to be unfaithful to your husband for one night.
In the movie, the husband who was, what was his name?
Woody. Was it Woody Allen?
No.
It wasn't Woody Allen. No, not
Woody
Allen.
Harrelson?
I'm so bad with the names.
Woody Harrelson, I think, something like that. He said, do it. He was the one that said, like, yeah, do it. We need the money. Yeah.
You think Fabian would say that?
No. No, in this case, it's different. I wouldn't take the $1 million. Now, all jokes aside. And no, I would stay with my husband and with my daughter. And I would be like, you better behave for the rest of your life because I just said no
to $1 million. To $1 million. Yeah, I don't know.
What would you do?
I mean, obviously, you say, okay, the correct thing is to say, no, I'm not going to take the $1 million, or I'm not going to sleep with somebody else for $1 million, like the Indecent Proposal. But like if you put yourself,
but we did that for free in our 20s.
Yeah, but you see, you did that for free in your 20s. Darlene, you're putting yourself out there. I don't know. I think if somebody came with like something indecent like that, I think maybe I would, depending on the situation, if it was like sleep with somebody for I don't know.
But in this case, it wasn't the question on the movie. It was you started asking $1 million.
Yeah, no contact with your spouse.
No contact with your spouse, and you don't have to do any sexual favors to
anybody. But you
whoever's
see,
giving you the
I think
money.
that's not a good question. I started with it, and I'm like thinking, is that really a good question?
So
Because
let's go, but what did people answer? And then let's just go to another one.
but
Let's
people
just choose a random
people
one.
haven't answered anything. This is just me
Maybe
going.
because they can. Maybe because they're reading that question with their spouse.
Maybe they haven't answered it. This is just like a debate. Like I'm thinking, like, what would one do? Like if somebody came and said, "I'm going to solve your life financially, but you have to do something indecent." So let's bring it back to the movie then. Let's put it that way.
Indecent Proposal.
The indecent proposal. Like, would you be willing to, say, you know what, it's just one night and it's not a big thing and it's going to solve our life in the sense of financial. Like, you think your spouse would be able to look at you the same? Would you be able to look at Fabian the same if he took that proposal on?
$1 million though. That
I'm telling you, there you go, $1 million.
that's a good chunk of money. I mean, I'm here debating it because whatever, but obviously no. I'll be like, no, you're not gonna sleep with anybody else.
But then he comes to you and he says to you, but Darlene, listen.
I wish he would come to this conversation right now and he would tell me, what do I do? What would I
You're
do?
just scared
What would you do?
You're scared to answer the question.
No. But come on. No, the right thing to do is say like, no, I'm happily married and he's the father of my child. But then again, $1 million, it's $1 million.
And $1 million, okay, so $1 million for one night with somebody else. That's basically what the question is. So forget my first initial question. It's
With the one night. So for $1 million, would you sleep with somebody else that's not your husband? And let me tell you, I'm so sure that most of the people that are listening to I'm like, yes, I would for $1 million.
But would you be able to look at your spouse the same way? So if you say yes, because you both agree, let's just say, I'm hypothetically saying, they come to Fabian, let's flip this, and they say, hey, Fabian.
Oh, hell no.
Hey,
no,
Fabian, you know what? I'll give you $1 million, but you need to sleep with this beautiful girl that is like, I'm talking about like drop dead gorgeous. And he says to you, Darlene, I'm getting this indecent proposal, but you know what? It's going to solve our lives. It's going to solve his life because he's going to get this one night with this beautiful girl and you're going to get $1 million as a family, supposedly, in return. Would you say yes or would you say
okay,
no?
if it's a family situation, then I should also be able to sleep with a beautiful.
But nobody's offering you. Nobody's offering you $1 million to do that. Now that's on you. You see, so he could have the excuse and say, "Well, they're offering to give me $1 million. That's going to help you, Darlene, in the long run as well." And then you saying, "I'm going to go sleep with somebody," but they're not offering you anything. Then that's just on you wanting to go.
Oh no!
You know what I mean?
No. I was just thinking maybe we can get $2 million from this.
No, but they're not offering. Would you say yes? Like I have to think. Like if somebody told Benjamin this, would I ever look at him the same? Or would I be do you get to a point in life, let's say you're 60 now and you've been with this man or woman for like the past 40 years and you're like, oh my God, we have so much trust in each other, we love each other, like we have a family together. She or he is never gonna go, this is just a one encounter thing and it's gonna solve us and that's it. I don't have to work anymore, I get to retire early, or whatever the case is. We're gonna be able to travel now. Would you take the indecent proposal?
Nowadays $1 million doesn't go that far with.
But it goes further.
But it goes farther
far
than I would probably in a few years. So the answer is
honestly
let's
speaking,
go to commercials right now. No, we don't have any commercials.
You're on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot. Would you be able to see him the same way? Would you say, you know what? Just do it. I'm going to keep my eyes, and I'm going to try to pretend this never happened, but we're going to be set, for a better life eventually or whatever. Would you be able to like pass the page and never think about it again if you said yes?
So right now, the fact that we're having this conversation, and let me tell you, I got married in the Catholic Church. And when we first started shooting here in this studio in Monica's house, Monica put in the door and I have him in front of me a picture of Jesus Christ, and it's The Sacred Heart. I love. It's my favorite image. So you're asking me this, and I feel like he's staring at me like, I'm trying to listen. What's your answer? So my answer is no. I would not take the $1 million, and I would continue my relationship. Thinking about what if I would have taken those $1 million.
Absolutely. I would say that probably somebody that would say no. I mean, let's be realistic. We're all human. And now 3, 5 months, 6 months have passed from this indecent proposal, and you're still in the grind and the sweat. And you would have said to yourself, if I would have taken those $1 million, what if I would have taken those $1 million? Where would we be? I'm sure there would be una incognita there of like what would happen. Do you think most people would say no? I'm sure there's somebody that was like, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. Who cares? We've been together so long.
I know a few people that would be like, yes, 100%. Because then what could happen is that then, like you said, then things start going south and you're like, oh man, what if I would have taken the $1 million? But then the same thing could happen if you do take it. I mean, if he takes it and he sleeps with another woman, and then it will affect the relationship either or, whichever option you do. Because if you don't, it's like, oh, what if? And then if you do, it's like, I wonder if he's thinking about her. Or I don't know. Or even us. Like, what if we really liked it and we want to do it again? And it's like, shit, this is not my husband.
You opened up Pandora's box.
Exactly. So, okay, you're looking at me, Jesus. I'm telling you, I just said no. I would not take the offer. He's literally right in front of me. Okay, so yeah, what about you?
If you flipped it on me in the state that I'm at, of course, I'd probably say no.
You said no, saying yes.
I mean, I would say no, but I mean, I would say probably no, but it's hard because we're saying this hypothetically. But if I really truly put myself in this situation, and let's say that we were financially struggling, both of us, and let's say my husband said, I don't know, what about if he said, yeah, you know what, go do it? Like, would you feel comfortable? Like if your husband was like, just do it. It's just this one night, like how the movie was.
You know what? This is like those games, the newlywed game. This is from back in the day. That they would ask a question to the husband, the wife, but they wouldn't know the answers, and they would just flip the board.
You know how many fights started because of that?
It's one of these situations where it's like, will you do it and then see what he says? And Fabian is right here. I should bring him.
And you have to make sure that you answer correctly.
But we know what they're going to answer in front of us.
I bet you, but hold on. Let's flip this. Let's pretend all these guys are sitting, because the guy talk, right? And somebody comes out with this question between the guys. Can you imagine that? I'm sorry.
Oh, man, of course. Heck yeah.
Yeah. For
$1
sure.
million, man, I would be doing it for my family. So yeah, I would sleep with another woman for $1 million. Not that my husband talks like that.
I'm sure. I mean, we don't know. And they're behind closed doors. Like anything is possible.
No, I was talking about the accent.
Oh. But you know how they get between men, they egg each other on and like, oh yeah, that would be awesome. But would they truly take it? Like, I don't know. I feel like if I was the woman on the other side and my husband's the one that got that indecent proposal and he came to me with it, I don't know if I would probably maybe at the beginning get even offended that he thought about it.
Well, we just did.
I know. But if they flipped it, I'd probably be like, how dare you even bring that question to the table? Like, and he starts going like, oh, but it's going to solve our life, $1 million. And all I would think about is, oh, you just want to sleep with this hot girl. That's what it is. You just want a taste of something else. I'm sure if the men...
that too, but I think that's normal.
Of course, but let's just be realistic. In a marriage, I think that you're going to be like, how dare he? Even though people fantasize. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. It's human. It's human. I'm sorry, and Padre, whatever,
En el nombre del Padre, del Hijo, del Espíritu Santo. Amén.
Amen. Okay, well, I was going to say it in English and then I got, stuck in the Spanish.
I don't know how to pray in English.
Pero anyways, I would think I would probably get a little offended that he would even consider this. Like even consider it as something to do. So I don't know. I just wonder, there's many people in this world. Other people they're married, but they're into doing lots of other things outside of their marriage, and then they meet back at home. So maybe those people that have that relationship would be more easy to be like, of course, I do it all the time. Like, and for $1 million, I'll be there.
There's swingers.
Yeah, there is.
The swingers, they do it not for money, for fun. Oh my God, we have a story. Oh my God.
What?
So, yeah,
it's not your story, is it?
Me talking about swingers and starting the conversation. we got a story. So we went to California when we moved there together because I had lived there before. This was 2017, I think. So Fabian had a friend out there in close to LA, not in LA, close. And that house was like, you would have to go like up these mountains. And then it was like an neighborhood, really nice neighborhood. It was just far, I remember. And you would pass the gate. And still, it was super far. It was like on a golf course.
Okay.
So I remember, so we go to the house and now it's his ex-wife and the kids and we're visiting and we were going to stay over the night. And they're like, oh, we want you to meet our neighbors. And our neighbors are super excited. We told them about you and that Fabian sings. So they even have like a poster of him at their bar. And I'm like, oh, they have a bar. And they said, no, at their house upstairs,
there's a poster of Fabian.
They have an area which is a bar. And what they do is like a lot of friends come and they always have a babysitter downstairs. So you leave the kids with the babysitter. We didn't have Luna at this time. And then you just go and then you go upstairs and it's a really cool bar, music, and Fabian was going to play. So they were very good friends with Fabian's friends. So he had posters of, or I think he made Fabian send him posters. I don't remember. And he put a poster of him
but for the day he was singing.
For the day that we were going to go. And I don't even remember if he sang. Yeah, I think he sang a few songs. That's it. We were just hanging out with them. So we go.
Wait, stop that thought. I have to ask you this question because I need to understand this. Yeah. The poster was up because he was going to sing there, or they always had a poster of Fabian in this bar?
No, I guess
at their house.
I don't know how it is that. I think that his friend was like, oh, we're going to be partying at my friend's house. And they usually have like music and it's fun and it's a big bar. Why don't you send me one of your posters so we can put it up for when you're going to be singing? Yes, he did sing.
Okay.
Yes, he did sing. Now I remember. Anyway, so we're with them. We're having a great time. A lot of couples. All the kids are downstairs. Boom, we leave. So then the next day, the guys were going to go, I think, play golf or something. And then some of us stayed in the restaurant waiting for them. So we're there. And suddenly, and then the night before, it was just like an odd because the husband, the owner of the house was like talking to me. And then the wife was like around Fabian and her friends. And I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, that's so cute. They like the music, whatever. They're flirting. I don't care. But then the next day when we're in the restaurant, the husband, like he started like hitting on me. And his wife was right next to him. And I just found it odd. I'm like, this is so weird. It was weird. It was weird. So anyway, I leave it at that. And then I tell Fabian and he said, oh my God, I felt the same thing. This was 2017. This was 9 years ago. There's other things. Wait, that's 9 years ago? Yeah. Other conversations happened where it all clicked. And I'm like, holy shit. And then we find out they were swingers.
Also, so they probably talked to each other.
Yeah.
And they said, okay, you go and try to see where Darlene lies in this whole thing and see what kind of vibe you get from her. Yeah. And I'm going to do that to Fabian and see what kind of... And there's people like that.
Yeah.
And especially here, now that we're talking about this, the bliss parties that they have here in Miami. I remember when I first found out about those bliss parties, I said, what do you mean? This was before I was married. I never had been to one, but I met this girl at work. I used to work in a real estate office. Out places, and she's talking to me about, because I went out this weekend and we went to she was married. My husband and I went to this bliss party, and I was like, well, what's bliss for? And if you don't know, research it. And I was like, bliss. And it's that all the couples would get together and they would swing. And when I went to go look at this later, I was like, I guess if you're dating and you're into that, that's fine. But once you're married and then somebody else can tell me, no, we're married and we do that and we've been together forever. I just feel like marriage is, if you're going to get married, it's because you want to be with each other. It's more sacred, right? So I don't know. Like there's a lot of couples though that swing and they're swingers in their 70s. and 80s that you would say, wow, these people are old and all wrinkled, and yet they don't care, and they go and they swing with each other, and then they come back and they meet at home, and they don't care. So weird. I think if I got that Indecent Proposal, though, like, I'm going to give you, I think, again, if Benjamin got the proposal and he came to me, and I think I would kind of be a little bothered that he even thought about it the first time. You know what I mean? And it's funny because if it came to me, it would
bother for sure.
I think it would bother me that he even brought it up to, me. I would be like, why? Were you thinking about this? Like, my mind will start going into all these things like, what do you mean? Like, were you fantasizing about this? Were you like, yes, she's probably going to say yes because there's $1 million involved.
For this opportunity, did you look for it? Do you apply?
Yeah.
Do you apply? Like, cheat on me for $1 million?
Like, how did this come about? Did you like bring this up like somewhere, or did somebody come to you, or was there a contest and you exactly did you apply to this? Like, how? I think I would ask 1 million interrogative questions to find out if that's But on the flip side, let's be honest. If somebody came to me and said the same thing, I mean, obviously I'd be like, oh, $1 million. But then at the end of it, I'd be like, how much can I live? What if I like it? Like, and then 2 weeks from now, you're with your husband. Now you're thinking about this encounter with this hot, sexy guy. And now it's all you can think about when you're with your husband. I mean, come on, let's be honest. You haven't tasted anything else in 20 years. And now this hot guy comes out of nowhere. And not that your husband's not hot and you don't want to be with your husband. But I mean, and now all of a sudden you're like taking a shower, and all you could see is these like episodes in your head of like, oh, that was, I mean, I think it'll ruin your marriage. I'm sorry.
I can't talk because you were so excited. You were so excited.
I mean,
it's like what? But then you got $1 million and you're investing and you bought something and you're traveling and you're doing whatever
with your husband, and all you can do is imagine.
It's about that.
And your husband has to be like, are you here? Now you're doing stuff with your husband, and he's like, where is she? Her mind is not here. And you're like, oh, I remember that moment when he did this. No. I mean, I think I'd set myself up for failure. So I think, Jesus Christ, now that you're watching me, I think, obviously not think. I know I would say no.
We would say no.
I mean,
okay, yes, you would say no just because of the fear of what could happen. We can't control our feelings.
And at the end of the day, I'm sorry. You can love your spouse with all your heart, and they could be your soulmate, and they could be whatever. But at the end of the day, if you have been 20 years in the same thing over and over like anybody else, and all of a sudden you got a taste of the red Ferrari.
Put a poster in the bar.
And you haven't had a red Ferrari in your whole entire life, and now you got it. You think you're not going to think of that thing over and over again?
Yeah.
Have you scarred your marriage now? Most likely. So is it worth it? And some people might say $1 million? Absolutely.
Times are rough. So it's...
So give me the ugly guy that I'm never going to think about ever in my life, that I'm going to be like, ew, I would never touch that with like,
but then do you want to be with him?
No, but you're going to get $1 million.
But it's $1 million. It's and like, close your eyes.
I still think I would say
close your eyes. Dun, 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 dun. Ding, ding, cash.
You won the that's it. Yeah. But in this case, I meant it like, would you take the offer of a very hot man or a very hot woman?
You had not said hot till now. Oh, well, you did say it. Okay.
Hot, yeah. Like, it's a hot person.
Okay, so would you sleep with a hot man or hot woman for $1 million
if you're
married?
While you're married, do you think that you would be able to do that?
How many people are saying been there, done that?
Well, sure,
not for $1 million.
I'm sure not for $1 million, but they've done it free. They've done it freely.
Exactly.
So imagine if you've done it freely, you'd probably again do it for $1 million. So in my case, I'm gonna put there, and I'm looking at the camera, I would say no. And then will I later be fantasizing about the $1 million I could have had?
But it's better to fantasize about $1 million than the man that you slept with for $1 million instead of your husband.
Yeah, and now it's
better to fantasize.
It's causing a little
money.
friction there, and then your husband feels like, oh, what did he have that I didn't have, and then vice versa.
Hey,
what
maybe
did
it's
she
a wake-up
have?
call.
Or maybe it's I don't know.
We have a birthday later today, and I'm gonna ask your husband
Oh my Lord.
what would he do?
And you know he's gonna say, ha, 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 I'd probably say yes. You know,
I was
are you
gonna
kidding
say-
me? He's gonna joke and he's gonna tell you, yes.
We're gonna go, and actually we're going to a playground today, and I'm gonna ask around.
Not in front of the kids though.
Not in front of
Not
the kids.
in front of the
Not in
kids.
front of the kids. But I am gonna ask, would you sleep with somebody else? Oh my God, I could just hear the answers. We should start with Fabian. Fabian, are you there?
He's sleeping on the sofa somewhere.
Can you hear me? Okay, you're in the episode right now. I have a question for you. And be very, 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 very honest. If you got offered $1 million to sleep with somebody else, would you do it? I'm not going to be offended.
Don't say that. He's being very diplomatic right now.
Very politically correct. That's
Yes.
a lot to talk about.
Yes.
But yeah, it's actually something like in the movie where they both talked about it. And
I guess if you have that confianza with your spouse and you're very now I could see somebody saying we are so committed to each other
and we are so broke
and we are so bonded and we're so strong in our marriage that I know that one encounter is going to lead us to a life of a little bit more of flexibility, you know, things for if they have kids, like we have money for our kids, and I know it's not going to break our marriage.
Yeah.
There's going to be people that are going to say, you know what? And between us, we agreed, yes. I just think, like, for me, I'd probably be thinking vice versa, whichever way. I'd be thinking of, like, you know, I don't know. I think it can ruin. It can ruin a marriage.
It could ruin it. And
$1 million will just be, like, out the door.
It could ruin it. At the end of the day, the money will eventually go unless you really invest it. But a relationship is a relationship, and there's no price for that.
Oh my God. And I could imagine somebody later, like 3 years later, they get divorced and they're like, I should have freaking taken that $1 million.
Fucking $1 million. I know. That's why I feel it's something that couples have to talk about. It's like, do you love me? I'm going to put you on a lie detector test right now.
Yeah.
Do you love me? Because
better
if
say
not,
yes.
I'm taking the $1 million and I'm running with it.
Absolutely. But exactly. That would be awesome. Put them on a lie detector test. And if the lie detector test shows that they're lying, then you know. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, so lie detector test, and depending on the results and the conversation, then you can probably take it. I don't know. But we said no. I
said no. And we're leaving it to you guys that are watching this for you guys to put it in the comments. Would you, again, here's the question. Would you sleep with somebody else outside of your marriage? This is the indecent proposal. What would you do if they gave you $1 million? We're leaving it in your hands.
Think about it.
Think about it and let us know.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
this
guys.
was What Would You Do Wednesday. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.